Our story begins as one man introduces himself as Careless, stating that he is a mercenary, and asks if anyone knows where they are. Another man, wearing a confused expression, introduces himself as Lyle and says he owns a carpenter shop, adding that he has no memory of where they are or why they are here. A fat man introduces himself as Grit, saying he runs a street stall shop, and admits that he also has no clue about the situation. A woman calls herself Jenna and states that she lives in a remote forest, saying she has no idea why she is here either. Islet Han, a farmer, says he also has no idea why he is here. So all 11 people gathered have no idea where they are or how they ended up here. One person from the group suggests that maybe they were dragged here by a mage for experiments, but the mercenary immediately shuts that idea down. Suddenly, an unknown voice asks the group what they are all talking about. A pixie flies out of a portal and states that her master has opened a time and space portal, and that the people gathered here need to prepare to fight. Yeah, everything makes sense now. Don't know where they are and now getting asked to fight by Pixie as it is her master's wish. Boys, get ready for Hunger Games. Everyone just stares in confusion at the tiny Pixie as she casually tells them to get ready to fight. One of the members asks who she is, and the Pixie replies that her name is Isel, that she is the manager of this place, and warns him to stay in line if he does not want to get hurt. The mercenary angrily asks if she is the one who brought them here, but the Pixie replies that it is none of his business. I think this is his business as he was pulled here without his will. This response angers the mercenary even more, and he draws his blade, declaring that he will make the Pixie spill the information about why she kidnapped them. The tiny Pixie simply sighs and tells the mercenary to stop acting stupid unless he wants to die. The mercenary prepares to attack and declares that he will teach the Pixie a lesson, but in an instant, his neck is slashed. His head rolls across the ground, and a message appears stating the cause of death as suicide due to stress. The Pixie, with a horrifying expression, states that anyone who dares lay a finger on her will die instantly, as it is a self-destruct system. The others gathered begin to panic, unable to believe that he just died like that. Everyone starts pleading and asks what she wants, and the Pixie calmly replies that they only need to be obedient, fight, and win, that is all. Another message appears for the Pixie, stating that a party has been formed and instructing to drag and drop the heroes. Lyle, Ranto, Marlin, Kelkard, and Jackson are all placed into Party 1, and the Pixie states that her master has finally begun. She tells everyone to get ready. She moves toward a giant stone door and chants for the crack of time and space to open. The door slowly begins to open. Everyone in Group 1 is completely stunned by the sight. The Pixie casually tells them to enter the door if they do not want to die like the last guy. While all of this is happening, one of the players says he has a question to ask. The Pixie angrily snaps back asking what it is, and it turns out to be the farmer, who asks if she wants them to climb a tower, explaining that they are all only one-star heroes with no weapons, and at this rate they would just be a suicide squad. Something tells me this is not the first time this guy is facing this situation. The forest woman thinks to herself that the Pixie just singled this man out, and wonders what all this talk about towers even means, as the farmer continues by saying that even a 2-star warrior just died, so shouldn't they at least be given something? The Pixie thinks it over and admits to herself that he has a point. She sends a message to her master stating that the heroes do not have any equipment. She suggests summoning equipment, and a message appears stating that heroes without weapons have been granted old iron swords. Another message appears showing that a 10 times summon has been cast using 50,000 gold. Everyone begins receiving random weapons, and one man asks if Han the farmer knows something about this place, but Han denies it, saying he has not been here long. The forest woman grows even more suspicious of him. Han then tells everyone to grab a weapon from a nearby shed, saying that it will start soon. Everyone panics, wondering what he means by that, questioning if a battle is about to begin, but Han ignores them and calmly heads toward the shed to pick up his weapon. Some people say they have never fought before, while others silently begin choosing their weapons. Soon everyone has picked a weapon, but while some look terrified, others appear confident. The pixie shouts at them and orders all 5 to enter the gate immediately. One of them approaches the gate and touches it. He hesitates, feeling pressure from the gate, but the pixie yells at them to stop dawdling and enter immediately. We see that Han has picked up a shield, confusing the forest woman, as she prepares for battle with her bow, while in the background one person says he does not want to go in. The forest woman asks Han if he knows what is going on, why they have to fight, and who that pixie really is, but Han casually replies that she asks too many questions and tells her to just enter the arena, kill all the enemies, and everything will take care of itself. Suddenly, a message appears stating that Marlin has returned to the goddess's embrace, shocking both the farmer and the forest woman. The same message appears again, but this time it is Kelkard. The same message appears for Ranto and Kaskard as well, and Han simply states that this is why they are only 1-star heroes, while the forest woman asks what that message meant, but Han tells her to keep quiet. Another message appears, and this time it is Lyle. The pixie makes an angry face and declares that Party 1 has been annihilated, calling them useless bastards for getting wiped out on the first floor. Another party is formed, this time consisting of Han the farmer, Jenna the forest woman, and Dajil, Grit, and Kale, and Han calmly states that it is their turn next, while the forest woman asks why the previous group is not coming back. Is she this dumb? How has she not figured out they are dead in there? An old man walks up to the pixie and complains that his arthritis is acting up, asking to be left out of this, but the pixie simply calls him an old punk. Dude just diagnosed himself with arthritis just to skip death. Something tells me this is not going to work. The pixie angrily curses at him and orders him to get in already, as the forest woman drags the old man toward the portal, while Han leads the group with a sword and shield in his hands. As everyone enters, the pixie suddenly yells that she believes they can do this. I never thought we will hear encouraging words from our pixie friend. Everyone looks amazed, but the tower stands before them. Everyone is confused about what kind of place this is, with some thinking it might be a temple, and a huge portal stands in front of them. The portal displays a screen showing main dungeon, current floor first, climb the tower and save the world. A message appears stating that the gate is opening and tells everyone to get ready, and Han orders them not to freeze up and to prepare themselves. A bright light flashes across their faces, the brightness completely swallowing them. They are teleported to an open field beneath a vast open sky. Everyone struggles to process what just happened, completely confused about where they are. I feel sorry for them getting kidnapped twice in the same day. One man asks where they are, and Han simply replies, "Where else?" What do you mean by that, dude? Just explain them why you have to be so mysterious, just gatekeeping all the secrets. They are facing goblins, and a system message appears stating that their objective is to annihilate their enemies. I have to say these goblins look weird as hell. They look like if Goblin and Boar had a baby. Han reminds everyone that he warned them they would die if they did not fight, and tells them to pull themselves together. He looks back and realizes that 3 of them have already dropped their weapons and run away, leaving only the forest woman Jenna standing beside him. She shouts at the fleeing old man, asking if his arthritis is gone now, and he replies that it just got better, as a message appears stating that fear has gripped everyone and all their stats have been reduced by 30%. All 3 men slam their heads into an invisible wall while trying to escape. Jenna stares in shock as she realizes they are surrounded by an invisible barrier. The fat man asks why they cannot get out, the tall man complains that his back hurts, and the old man begs the system to let him out because he needs to take a shit. Han calls them pathetic and notes that he is the only one whose stats have not dropped by 30%. Jenna asks if they can escape if they kill the goblins. Han answers yes and asks if she knows how to use that bow, and Jenna replies that her father was a hunter, so their strategy is for Han to tank the attacks while Jenna shoots the goblins from the back line. Jenna asks about the rest of the group, but Han tells her to leave them, as they will be no help. The goblins growl, their sharp teeth ready to pierce the party, drool spilling everywhere. To be honest, I am just impressed how clean their teeth are for a goblin. The goblins begin their charge, and Han braces himself. Han prepares to face the goblin horde head-on, stating that he has never wielded a sword or shield before this moment. A goblin leaps at him, cleaver in hand, ready to strike Han. He declares that his real name is Han Seojin, and that he has crossed over into a game ruled entirely by luck. He guards himself from the attack as Jenna draws her bow, ready to release her shot. The scene shifts back to the real world, showing a mobile game created by Mobius called Pick Me Up. The objective of the game is to reach the 100th floor using strategy and tactics to clear each stage. The protagonist states that until yesterday, he was living an ordinary life, simply playing games. While playing this game, an update appeared called Transcendental Advent. He explains that heroes are ranked from 1 to 7 stars, and even after thousands of paid gacha pulls, he has never received anything above 5 stars, even though other players have, and he is about to enter a dungeon with a low drop rate that rewards a book of reversal capable of granting a 7-star hero. He explains that unlike other games, Pick Me Up follows hardcore rules. He states that heroes cannot be revived once they die, and his usual tactic is to send expendable reconnaissance teams to scout dangerous dungeons. He enters the Advent dungeon. A warning flashes as fear overtakes all members, and he wonders why these characters are so scared. He thinks to himself that it does not matter, as he only sent this team to scout anyway. Suddenly, a shadowy figure stabs his character with its hand, and the figure's level reads 999, making him wonder if this is some kind of bug. A message appears stating you lose. RMC thinks it is obviously a system error. He tells himself that they died before he could even read the boss's attack patterns, and that he gained absolutely nothing from it. The shadowed figure begins to grow larger, wearing a creepy smile, and RMC thinks the game should have already ended, but the figure simply says, "Found you." Suddenly everything goes dark, and RMC is struck with a message stating, "Creating an account. Choose your name." RMC has been dragged into the game itself and is completely confused, as the system asks if he wants to play the tutorial, promising a predetermined reward upon completion. As RMC opens his eyes, a message appears stating that in a small town of the Heim province, there lived a boy named Han Islet. That's RMC. RMC finds himself holding a sword, surrounded by fire, completely confused about what is happening. The system displays a warning that an unknown entity has entered, and that if RMC wishes to save the world, he must climb the tower. A hand suddenly appears from behind a cracked wall. RMC turns around to look at it. A message appears ordering him to take down the goblins that have invaded the town. Just then, a goblin appears right in front of RMC, completely confusing him about what is going on. Fear grips him to his core as he wonders if this is really happening. But reality does not give him time to think. The goblin leaps toward him and attacks. Pure instinct kicks in, and RMC barely manages to raise his guard in time, deflecting the attack with his sword. He pushes the goblin back with all his strength. He then prepares his own attack. RMC slashes the goblin, and its blood sprays everywhere. RMC struggles to breathe as his mind fails to process the fact that he has just killed another living being. A system message appears stating that a reward has been granted and instructs him to check his mailbox. He arrives before a massive dungeon and is shocked to see that everything looks familiar, as it is exactly the same as Pick Me Up, the game he plays. A message appears asking, "Master, will you pull for a comrade before the next stage?" The message further explains that the first summon is free and that 500 gems have been provided for a high-rank summon. RMC, completely confused, yells out asking what is happening. The gates of the dungeon in front of him slowly open, and golden light begins to pour out. A blonde girl wearing golden armor appears, and a message displays that the master has received a 4-star hero, Shay. Still confused, RMC stares at the summon. He wonders if he was summoned in the same way. The woman asks if RMC is the one who summoned her. The blonde knight walks toward him and introduces herself as Shay Lathistry. Another message appears asking if he wishes to form a party with the hero. It displays that Han, 1 star, and Shay, 4 star, have formed a party. They are teleported back into the dungeon and face goblins once more, and Shay asks RMC if he is a newbie because his stance is terrible, to which RMC replies that it is his first time. Within minutes, the stage is cleared, with Shay clearly being the MVP, and our MC admits that since she is 3 stars higher than him, she had no trouble clearing the stage, and he is relieved because of that. But the easy part ends there, and the real problem begins. They arrive in a massive cylindrical room, and a message appears stating a method to enhance heroes, synthesis, as the doors open. Our MC realizes that this will be the end of him. At that moment, a familiar voice calls out to him. It is the pixie, ordering our MC to hurry inside because her master is waiting. Our MC is completely dumbfounded by her words. Our MC shouts at the pixie, Isel, causing her to panic as she asks how he knows her name and what he really is. Our MC calmly states that he knows her because he is one of the pick-me-up users, and that his real name is Han Seojin, prompting Isel to check the user guide and find his real name listed there. However, Isel becomes confused when she sees that the image does not match him, and our MC asks her to send him back while still trying to speak politely. Isel asks if our MC is from Earth, and he angrily confirms that he is. This terrifies Isel even more, making her believe she is losing her mind, as this is not supposed to happen. She panics and shouts at him to just go inside first. Our MC shouts back that he will die if he goes in, and Isel replies that he will only be synthesized, but our MC says that it is the same thing. Ignoring him, Isel throws him inside anyway, and we see that Shay is already standing there. Shay calls out to our MC, telling him to stop being so loud. A system message appears stating that synthesis is starting,